Hey, so I'm imagining there's going to be more viewers on this show. Really quick welcome. I do live streams about universal basic income and Yang and everything else in between every weekday at 7. Please feel free to join me tonight. If you have any questions about Yang and UBI, I will answer any questions that you have. I've been an advocate for universal basic income for longer than Yang has been a candidate running, and it's pretty frustrating for me to see the kind of hand that it's been dealt in the media lately. This is my quick initial perspective on what happened last night before I kind of read any more into today's news. So this is what I saw unfolding. You can see a few bags under my eyes. I stayed up a little too late seeing everything. So if I'm a little out of it, that's why. And 3, if you hear any dog toys squeaking or rough housing, I'm looking after some animals for a friend right now. So I can't, it's not as professional as I want it to be. So during my live stream yesterday, I said 3 things. I said we needed to look for 3 things for Andrew Yang to have a positive or at least a neutral experience on the debate stage. He needed to have his 45-second introduction pitch go well, because as a universal basic income advocate, you and I know that the most difficult part of this discussion is the initial reaction. It doesn't matter who you are, everyone meets the idea of money for nothing, which is not what this is, with skepticism. That's just a normal part of becoming aware of what it is, and then you learn, oh wait, Alaska's had their own basic income since the 70s. They use revenue from oil in a way that compensates all of the citizens for the extraction of a resource that the state will no longer have in the future. And hey, yeah, Amazon pays nothing in taxes, but they use our data to make trillions in profit. Maybe a slice of revenue taken from data profit and given to the American people will be a way to transition away from millions of jobs that are at risk of automation. And oh wow, yeah, 4 million jobs in Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, all the states that all the pundits were so surprised that Trump turned in 2016, they had the highest concentration of robotic adoption from the years 2000 to 2015. Wow, these seem to be a lot of issues. And yeah, 3.5 million truck drivers, retail workers, call center workers, fast food, and on are at risk of some severe disruption as technology continues to exponentially increase in pace. So these are the types of cerebral concepts that need to be involved with a universal basic income discussion, and that's why his first 45 seconds were so important. And clearly, you might have seen my tweets. I said they didn't get their first 45 seconds. That was the first thing I was hyper cognizant of, and I knew immediately from that moment on it wasn't going to be as great as I wanted it to be, because this means that Yang couldn't frame his pitch in his own words. Who got to frame the universal basic income? It was the moderators. Excuse me, my phone's messing up right there. Who got to frame the universal basic income? It was the moderators. $1,000 for everyone. How wacky of an idea. It was going to be wacky no matter what, but at least Yang would have had the ability to frame it himself. They stripped him of his ability to do that. I guarantee every candidate went onto that stage expecting 45 seconds to give their pitch, and it threw all of them off, I'm sure. And I'm not saying that they did it on purpose for Yang, but I'm saying that he was the most disadvantaged by their decision to not do that 45-second intro. So that's the first thing. The second thing, I said he would need to field any questions about alt-right support, quote unquote. As a UBI advocate, that really just hustles me up, because this is a policy about helping the most needy of us. There are 13 million people in poverty completely missed by the existing safety net. The safety net is set up to exclude people who do not need it. So people like myself with invisible disabilities will not be reached by that net. I have extreme anxiety disorders. If you see patchy spots on my head, I have trichotillomania. I actually pull my hair out. I'm not helped, I'm not reached, but I am under the poverty line, and a universal basic income would double my quality of life immediately. And there are many people who are on safety net that are, there's ways in which it perpetuates poverty, and there are statistics and all sorts of things that I've gotten into in some of my other live streams. Again, join my live stream tonight. If there are any questions, I'll be happy to answer any of them that you give to me. And then 3, I said that the best thing as well is how he finishes. What is the last thing that he's able to say in his closing speech? And that went well. I don't have any qualms about that. He very succinctly put things through, and people would be able to Google him, as I'm sure they may be curious to do. Now, on to the shenanigans. I'm very interested in the fact that the very first thing we heard from Yang was what I believe to be an audio issue, because it's clear he sees the moderators, they say Yang, and he starts rubbing his hands together. He's ready for this moment. This is a moment that he's been preparing for years. He's been on a debate team in college. Any Yang supporters know that he's an articulate and passionate speaker. And then the very first thing you hear from him is, what? This is a classic discreditation technique used to make someone look unprepared, just inadequate in general, is to make them have to ask to be repeated. I'm pretty sure not just too long ago, the same thing happened to Bernie, where he's like, and Bernie's reaction to it during this video, I have to find where it was like he knew this. He knew what was happening. He said, I'm sorry, I don't know what you said. I need you to repeat it. Like he was fed up with it, because this is what they do. This is what they do. The MSNBC, the mainstream media, surprisingly not Fox News, has been attacking Yang. They have been taking him out of graphics that he should be in. He was one of the 6 candidates to qualify in both polling and donation numbers, but you wouldn't know it if you're just looking at MSNBC and all these other news outlets. So my initial reaction, I'll get into that in just a second. What I'm about to speak about, of course, is the after party video that William Legate showed, Yang talking to his supporters, saying, I had been trying to interject into the conversation, and my mic wasn't carrying my voice. I didn't have the ability to interject like Marianne Williamson did. He didn't say that. These are my own words, but Marianne had no problem at all. But you can see in the video afterwards, I was a little skeptical, because I was like, I feel like I would see that. But in that video that was shown, you can see him clearly, his lips are moving. He kind of stops for a second. Kristen Gillibrand starts speaking. He continues to speak at that point. Nothing gets through. He's not a meek-mannered person. He was on a debate team. He knows how to project himself into the conversation. He knows how important that would be. So yes, hashtag let Yang speak. It's very clear that he didn't have the same ability to interject as other individuals, which very, very much painted him into a bad image. And that's because of the disadvantage that he had there. So, outside of the ways in which I wasn't happy with how things went, even though at the end of it, I was kind of like, okay, things went okay. This isn't terrible, You were able to drop some statistics and things of that nature on Twitter, and people were interested. I made a tweet and said, hey, this candidate has 100+ proposals and policies on his webpage, which are more than any other candidate on this stage tonight. And everyone was like, whoa, wow, this is completely different than the person that I'm seeing right now. I said to be prepared for shenanigans, and I held my tongue at first, but as soon as I saw that video, as soon as I saw how many times MSNBC has unfairly treated Yang, it's clear to me that this is I want to say it's intentional, okay? I'm not 100% there right now. It's clear, though, that he has gotten the shortest end of the stick, and we need to do what we can to make our voices heard, and first and foremost, hashtag let Yang speak. So again, feel free to join me at my live stream tonight at 7. I will answer any questions at 7 Eastern time. Any questions about Yang and UBI, I'm happy to answer them. I'm so passionate about this policy and the data that's been shown from it. It is what I'm trying to do with my life's work at this moment. It sounds a little dramatic, but that's the case. Thanks so much for watching this video. I will be here later tonight. Hopefully the stream will be a little bit more professional. I'm getting my webcam set up. I'm getting my mic set up and everything. It's just, it's been crazy here. It's been crazy. Thanks, guys.